You ever help build something with your own two hands then get told you're no longer welcome in it? Yeah, that's happened. I'm a general contractor by trade. Built homes all over Central Texas for 15 years, seen neighborhoods go up from dirt to driveways. When South Bridge Meadows started development just outside Austin, I worked on it. Literally poured concrete on lots that became family kitchens. So when I bought a place there for myself, it wasn't just the house site was mine. My sweat helped shape that whole street. Every nail, every board. I had a hand in it. At first, life in Southbridge was exactly what I'd hoped for. Quiet mornings, decent neighbors, kids riding bikes, barbecues on Saturdays, nothing fancy, just solid folks trying to build something stable. We were the kind of place where people helped each other move in, where you borrowed a ladder and returned it with a six-pack. I thought I'd finally found a place to settle in. But then the HOA got involved and everything changed. Now, if you've never dealt with an HOA, count yourself lucky. Ours was led by this woman named Laura Kemperly, 50s, crisp polos, clipboard energy, always talking about preserving property values, like it was a sacred mission. At first, it was small stuff, reminder emails about trash bins, notices about lawn height. No big deal. But then came the rules that felt a little pointed. They said no work trucks in driveways overnight, which, okay, fine in theory, but I was getting violations for mine while guys with boats, trailers, even busted SUVs never got so much as a warning. Then it was my shed. Built to code, clean lines, painted to match the house. Laura sent a letter saying it was visually disruptive. 3 days later, I got a fine. I tried to keep it cool. Figured maybe they were just being sticklers. But it kept happening. Every week, something new: porch light too bright, too many flower pots, my flag wasn't in regulation position. Meanwhile, houses on the other end of the street had plastic flamingos, kids' bikes all over the yard, weeds waist high, and nothing happened. That's when it clicked. This wasn't about rules. It was about control. And for whatever reason, Laura decided I was the one she wanted to push out. It wasn't just me either. James, the Navy vet across the street, got fined for flying an American flag on a pole they said was unauthorized. Elena, the single mom with 2 kids, got written up for sidewalk chalk. Sidewalk chalk. We were all newer residents, younger, more diverse. The longer I watched, the clearer the pattern became. So one night, after getting yet another fine for parking my own damn truck in my own driveway, I said enough. I started documenting everything: photos, timestamps, letters. I asked around, and sure enough, there were at least a dozen of us getting these selective violations. So I set up a simple website, nothing fancy, just to collect and track the complaints. I didn't expect it to get much attention. But oh, it did. Turns out people were waiting for someone to say something. I got emails, calls, even anonymous messages from folks who didn't want to speak publicly but had stories going back years. People had moved away because of the harassment, sold their homes just to be done with the stress. And the kicker? Laura had never been re-elected. She just kept showing up to meetings and calling herself president because no one challenged her. Then, out of nowhere, I get a call from Alan, one of the HOA board members, quiet guy, kind of nervous, never really spoke up at meetings. He says, "I think you need to see this." He brings me a USB stick, in it, a folder of emails between Laura and the rest of the board. Stuff like, "We need to discourage certain buyers," and "too many rentals ruin the tone." She actually said, "The neighborhood is changing too fast, we need to enforce the rules more carefully." You know what that means. I knew what that meant. And now I had proof. Next board meeting, I show up early. Packed house, more than I'd ever seen before. I asked to speak. "Laura, looking smug in the front row, gives me a little smile like she already knows I'm wasting my breath. I take a breath and start reading from the emails. I bring up photos, list the inconsistencies, lay it all out like a case file. And when I play the part where she told the board to flag frequent complainers as potential disruptions, the room went silent. Then someone clapped. And then another. And suddenly everyone started talking. People were pissed. People who had never said a word before were now coming up to the mic with their own stories, their own violations, their own screenshots. Laura tried to say it was misunderstood language, that we were twisting her words. But it was too late. The vote to remove her wasn't even close, like 80-5. She walked out halfway through. Now, here's the part that still gets me. 2 days after she was ousted, I got a notice in my mailbox, anonymous, typed, no signature. It just said, some people don't know their place. I stood there on my porch, holding that piece of paper, staring out at the street I'd helped build, and thought. Yeah, well, I do know my place. It's right here. We've got a new board now, fair, open, no secret meetings, no hidden agendas. We changed the bylaws, 2-term limits, transparent enforcement, actual elections. I stayed. Didn't sell. Didn't run. Because if folks like Laura get to scare people out of their own homes, what does that say about who really runs our communities? Thing is, this stuff doesn't make the news. It's quiet. It's slow. It shows up as little slips of paper, tiny fans, side glances at the block party. But it builds. And if no one stands up, it keeps winning. So now I wanna ask, if you were in my shoes, would you have fought back? Or would you have packed up and started fresh somewhere else? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what justice looks like in your neighborhood. Because sometimes standing your ground isn't loud. Sometimes it's just staying put.